Breaking news out of the land of the New York Jets as Gang Green is shipping fan favorite defensive end Jermaine Johnson off to Tennessee, where he will reunite with the head coach who drafted him, Robert Saleh. And in return, the Jets will receive let's just say, a mountain of a man in the middle of their defense, Tavondre Sweat, the former defensive tackle out of the University of Texas, where he was a guy who, going into that class, going into that draft, um, I think he was. I think I made it pretty clear he was one of my favorite guys in that group. I recall that was the year I was able to go to Mobile, meeting him in person. He was really the only guy there that you were kind of taken aback at his size. 360 pounds, 6'4", 6'5", huge guy. And I remember, oddly enough, I don't recall why, but his rookie year, Tennessee played the Jets early on, and I did a game preview, and I said he was like a player to watch, because he is a hard guy to move out of the way if you are trying to run the football. And some people were like, "Oh, he's a rookie, he hasn't done anything. Don't worry about him." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "He's a 360-pound rookie who does a really nice job of not moving where offensive linemen want to move him. Just really good player, really good addition." I think, if I'm not mistaken, I just looked it up. Actually, let me pull it up. Last year per PFF, 83 grade overall and a 79 against the run. The guy, look, he's 360. He's far from a traditional pass rusher, but the guy can collapse the pocket at 360. And I think this answers our question about whether or not the Jets are going to be going to a 3-4. Look, it's possible you can add this guy in a 4-3, but you've just shipped off one of your better DNs who would have, who's better suited for a 4-3 to import a nose tackle who's better suited for a 3-4. So Tavondre Sweat, look, and I know Jawan Briggs has done a nice job, but I've been kind of complaining about this for a couple years now. I wouldn't shut up last year about the number of DTs they didn't take in the draft, even when they weren't in a 3-4, because there were guys, Jamari Caldwell, Deion Walker, like there were guys there you could have had. And the Jets really just haven't had that big, dominant space eater. And again, I'm not knocking Jawan Briggs. I think Jawan Briggs had himself a really good year. But I'm talking bringing in a guy like this, 340, 350, 360. I think it's a great move for the Jets. If you're going with 3-4, it's so vital. It's so critical that you have that true nose up front. We've seen teams in the past that try to get by with a smaller guy, and it just doesn't work out. The Jets obviously not taking that approach. So you would have to assume we are seeing a switch to a 3-4. Doesn't guarantee, but it does make you think, okay, did Arvell Reese just become more of a sure thing given his ability to play off-ball linebacker, because they're going to need a couple of those now if you're going to a 3-4. And look, that doesn't mean you can't still go with a D end. I think you're going to be looking for, and this, I guess it's worth noting, and let me look this up. I actually made a spreadsheet the other day and I've been saying this for a while now, that this year's class, that the D end class is sort of much bigger than we usually see. A lot of guys who are 260 plus in this class. Let's see. I believe, yeah. So just in this class alone, and it's from top to bottom, folks. It's from guys who were projected early to guys who are UDFAs. Looking for those guys who are 250, 260, 270. Ruben Bain, right off the bat, 275. Keldrick Falk, who I'm a big fan of, 288. Messador is 273. TJ Parker, 265. Zion Young, really good player, 262. LT Overton, 278. Anthony Lucas out of USC, 267. Danny Denise Sutton, 268. So there's tons of guys, folks. Mikhail Kamara, 265 out of Indiana. I think I thought I saw it. Yeah, there you go. Tyree West out of Tennessee, 290. So if you're looking to go 3-4 and you're going to need some bigger ends, this is the year to do it in terms of the draft. And now with the addition via trade of Tavondre Sweat. So I know some fans are going to be upset to see Jermaine Johnson go. He was absolutely a fan favorite and understandably so. But this fills a vital need for the front the Jets are going to run, and getting guys who weigh that much and move as well as Tavondre Sweat does, not something you can do every day. Pulled up a few Tavondre Sweat highlights. Now, we had issues with this the other day. Bear with me. I am adding we're upgrading the show laptop here. Probably tomorrow. We got some memory coming in through Prime to add some memory and speed things up. But let's try this one time. This is Tavondre Sweat up the middle against West Virginia. He is the right defensive tackle, I believe. Keeps his eyes in the backfield, manhandles the OG, and really just is able to keep him in place till he sees which is heading towards, and Tavondre Sweat just steps right in, pulls him down to the ground. We'll let it run one more time. Again, right defensive tackle right here. Stands the guard up, sheds him when the running back is coming, and tosses him to the ground. Makes it look pretty easy, if we're being honest. So this is a guy, again, that's what he's going to be expected to do here. And I'll tell you what, Tavondre Sweat under Carl Dunbar, that's some pretty good stuff. So you should be excited about this, Jets fans. It's the first trade of the offseason for the Jets. There may be more. Connor Hughes did tweet out that there are more Jets players who are available. So let's see. GM Island Empire says, don't be surprised if Caleb Downs is the pick. Free agency hasn't hit yet, so we shall see. It's looking like a 3-4. Listen, Island Empire, nothing would make me happier. I've said many times now, Caleb Downs is my top guy, the guy that I want. I know, again, people don't want it because positional value. I say get the guy who's going to help your defense the most and get the guy who's going to help your defense immediately. And I think Caleb Downs is that guy. So listen, if you had Tavondre Sweat and Caleb Downs, like that run defense just got so much better. Like you're not, yeah. I mean, those are Downs, one of the better safeties I've ever seen. And Tavondre Sweat, like I said, a mountain in the middle of that defense who should absolutely be a guy who just eats up blocks. And now you're going to have Jets linebackers. Again, if it's a 3-4, you're going to have four guys out there. Maybe Alex Anzalone is a target. We've talked about him. There's this kind of it's nice to get a little bit of clarity because it would be shocking to see them go trade for a 360-pound nose tackle and then not go to a 3-4. So it looks like we've got an answer in terms of what front the Jets will be running. They've got the right guy to do it with Tavondre Sweat. Could be Caleb Downs, could be linebackers, but I expect them to be aggressive in trying to fix this, what was a disastrous run defense last year. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be I'm not like drinking the Kool-Aid or whatever you want to say. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's been like, I don't know, a couple of years of just sheer misery being a fan of this team. But I'm starting to feel pretty good. And this pre-Tavondre Sweat trade, I said to someone the other day, I said, I think Malik Willis I think there's a better chance to land Malik Willis than I originally thought. The Jets have the cap. A lot of teams don't. They'll obviously, promise him a starting job, which is great. But I'm starting to feel a little bit good. I'm not predicting like a bunch of wins, but I put it this way. Here's the best I can say. At this moment, I don't feel miserable when I think about this football team. Starting to allow myself to look at some of the positives because there are, again, you've got great young OTs. You've got a legit wide receiver one. It looks like Breece Hall is staying. There's some good stuff. You have the way Juwan Briggs played last year. I do think Jermaine Johnson is a guy. I think if the Jets can play with a lead from time to time, we'll see a bounce back from him. He's the type of guy who is a monster edge rusher who needs to pin his ears back and go. And when you're always losing, you don't do a lot of that. I asked our good friend Grok the other day, the Twitter AI bot, how many minutes did the Jets hold a lead last season? And it was like just over 100 minutes out of over 1,000 minutes of football. or what is it? What would it be? 600? Yeah, just over 1,000 minutes of football. Jets held the lead for about 115, 120 minutes, something like that. So the Jets didn't play with any leads. Teams ran all over them. That is where Will McDonald is a lot. And now, look, I wouldn't roll out a Will McDonald trade at this point. I'm not saying they should or will. I'm just saying don't rule it out. If that, whether or not they think he fits in that 3-4, we'll see. But the bottom line here, the Jets got better. They got a guy they needed at a vital position. Jermaine Johnson, nice player. I think we do overrate him a little bit, not only because he's one of our own, but because he says all the right things. He's a savvy guy. But let's be honest, 7.5 sacks in his second year. Then he misses all of his third year with the injury. Comes back last year a little bit dinged up, 3 sacks. There's more to him than production. He is a tone setter. He is a leader. I get all that. But I think as much as I like him, and I do like him a lot, but I do think we overrated him a little bit. But either way, wish him luck. Good guy. Um, you know, Said the right things, always played hard. I'll never have an issue with a guy who does that. So Jermaine Johnson, you wish him luck in Tennessee. Tavondre Sweat, the 360-pound nose tackle out of Texas, you welcome him on board. You switch to a 3-4, and now you have that legitimate space heater in the middle. I recommend you go watch him at Texas. I know it's a couple years old, but he was absolutely dominant there. I plan on watching some of his Tennessee stuff tonight. But that is the move. Jermaine Johnson to the Titans for Tavondre Sweat. NFL Combine kicks off in a few hours. Have a good one, Jets fans.